I cannot give enough credit to good man Al Bauer, because every time we had a piece of legislation that needed support, you were there. And it just wouldn't have happened without you, Al.
And they do a lot more things than we ever anticipated. But I think the thing that's important about that is these are and were needs out in local school districts, and they asked for them. Where they weren't dictated from the state level. State office, State Board of Education didn't really foresee some of these things.
112 had been doing that sort of thing all along. It's almost like provide the service if it's being needed and requested, and ask for permission later. The Powers Bill really gave permission to the ESDs to provide additional services to their districts in a way they hadn't done it before.
When I started on the board back in 1990, the ESDs as a whole were very competitive, and the competition was not, shall I say, constructive. There were several grants and things that we applied for funding, and there was a strong competition within that. And I believe it was Gene Sherritt, who was one of our superintendents at North Central, that kind of coined the phrase that if we work together, we all accomplish more.
We may have significant differences in some areas, but we have significant likenesses in a lot of different areas. And with the creation of the AESD, I think that has provided even a stronger goal in the revenue that is provided to the ESDs to share with the districts of meeting their needs for the future.
Actually, looking at 9 ESDs, they all have different missions and different personalities, and candidly the personalities change with the superintendents. Which is the best? I have 8 friends who are superintendents of other ESDs. Whether it's a small district of 50 students or whether it's a large district of 35,000, we can all learn by working together collectively on issues. And quite candidly, we are stronger as a state because of our 9 ESDs.
When I was first at the ESD, I had to go in and be the monitor. And the monitoring was really something that was really compliant oriented. And I watched the state do their thing about coming in and announcing the law and then saying, do it. And I thought, boy, I don't want to do that. So I started really looking at being creative and problem solving and going behind the law and teaching them what was behind the law. And I would stand in front of 200 psychologists and talk to them about the legal and why you did it, not that you had to do it. And I found myself right there in that creativity, that by doing that, you could inspire those people to do amazing, amazing things. And with all of that, I think what it's meant to me is that I needed to be inspirational and be inspired. And I think that's what ESDs do. They inspire others.
First and foremost, the ESD means service. It's in our name. It is our mission. How we serve students, how we serve staff, how we serve administrators, how we serve the district at large.
We have had some phenomenal people on our board and on our staff, and together have learned the most important thing is to honor one another, appreciate one another, and work together as a team. And I have seen remarkable changes in that over the last 20 years. And I'm not sure I'd be here if the people weren't so great.
After that, Brian Talbot came on, and Brian was young, and Brian, like I said, he was the mover and the shaker. Things really got to moving, and I think I have to credit him for putting ESDs on the map, and probably other ESD superintendents too, because we just really started growing.
What I really like about the ESD, and when I think about it, is the diversity of talents that the ESD has. The board has had members that have been executives in corporations, they've been nonprofit directors, civil servants, real estate developers, It's been amazing, the variety of people with passions that care about kids.
My hope for ESDs in the future is that it will be like it is now. ESDs have the capacity and are so essential to providing services to the district. If they don't have an immediate answer, they know how to find the answer.
Clearly, the organized and structured function of ESDs is much more sophisticated than many states. The state has recognized them with funding, the regions have recognized them with their support, and have identified key areas where the ESD really brings together professional conversations, brings together special expertise, and makes things more cost-effective, especially in the smaller districts, but certainly for larger districts. So, you know, having been in 2 states, ESDs in the state of Washington are certainly at the top of the list.
It's when we had a female superintendent at OSBI. She decided, we were at an after party, so to speak, after our breakout sessions and general sessions in our day, and she connected to our current superintendent at the time and whisked him off from the group we're sitting at and onto the dance floor. And so he went on to dance one dance after another, after another, after another, and until the music stopped. That's when they stopped. And so the best part about that was, yeah, we had a few chuckles at that, but then he told the story for years beyond that, and we'd laugh every time the story was told because he was a great storyteller.
One of our board members was asked to put together a presentation giving information about the ESD and the services we provide that we could present to a local board. He stood up and he began singing from Gilbert and Sullivan's HMS Pinafore, one of their songs, and he presented his whole report singing. He didn't miss a note, he was on key, he had everything that we needed to have, and when he had finished the song, he had finished his report. We were in hysterics. So we do have fun.
I can remember back, we shared a lot of time, not only with the AESD, but also with our own ESD board members, trying to figure out what could we use. Do we call our ESD some name that represents our area or a region or whatever? And it got quite humorous after a while before we finally settled on Northwest.
Superintendent Richard McBride was the president of the National Association. So we had the big conference in San Antonio, Texas, and of course we, as a board, made a big presence there. And Rich wore this great big white cowboy hat during the entire session. And I was amazed at how many of the attendees there actually connected Rich with us, with our name tags and our presentations and everything. So North Central was looking pretty good at that meeting.
You know, we started out with Ataris and Commodores and then the Apples, and started training teachers on how to use computers. And once we got the Macintosh, and I was lucky to get the first 128K Macintosh, which was signed by Wozniak, believe it or not. And gosh, I thought I died and gone to heaven. It was so wonderful. And when people would come in for their training, they didn't know what a mouse was, and they would pick it up and point it at the monitor, and that always gave everybody a big laugh.
I thought about this, what makes me laugh. So we've sung Wheels on the Bus as a trolley in New Orleans went through the city. We've discussed and argued politics on Florida beaches. And I'm always in search of the perfect Manhattan.
Happy 50th anniversary, ESDs!
Happy 50th anniversary, ESDs!
Congratulations to all of 9 ESDs, and have a happy 50th year.
Happy birthday, ESDs.
The years have been great, and there are so many more years to come that will be even greater.
Happy birthday, ESDs! Happy birthday from North Central ESD! Woo!
For 50 years, we've been knocking it out of the park.
Happy birthday, ESDs! Woo! Happy 50th ESDs!
And many, many more.